everyone. I am your host. This is Jessica Koch, and our show is Profound Professionals. I am going to warmly thank all of you in the community who have been watching and following and liking and sharing with us, more importantly, in the comments, the different things that are near and dear to your heart, the tips and knowledge you have shared. What a blessing for others, but especially when you hit that share button. You never know who needs to hear today's message or who could benefit from the information. And so simply by pushing that share button, you have inspired someone to possibly do something kind or have access to information or causes or resources that they just need. So we thank you for that. We have been featuring industry experts from all over the globe for almost 8 years now. And these individuals help improve your personal life, grow your business, and today is no different. Today we have Ben, and he is doing a great thing. Ben is creating a new era in health in the workplace. So no more of the lazy daisy cubicle workspace. If Ben's on duty, he is going to make sure that it is bright, joyful, healthy, mind, body, spirit, I hope, is all the components. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you so much, Jessica. It's an honor to be here and to be speaking to your listeners and your guests. Of all the people that are out there, like you said, I hope that I can bring some value to people who are listening and create a more healthy experience for them, co-create it with what they desire inside and whatever resonates during this conversation.
So as you're playing ball in the field, as you know, in first or second grade, you just stamped your foot down one day and decided, I'm going to be the era of new health in the workplace. That's what I'm going to be when I grow up. No, that wasn't the story, was it?
No. No, a little bit of a different journey though. So early on, learned very real realities of living, that living is not forever and that there is suffering in this world. And at an early age, recognizing those things can really orient us to needing to make it count, to with the time that we're given, with no guarantees of it being 90 years of perfect health, that we have an opportunity here. And if we've been given generous gifts of health and wellness and enough food on the table at night and a warm place to sleep where no one harms us, we are in basically a situation that I feel to be very, very deeply a place of gratitude and a place of reverence for the gift of that. So recognizing those things, not taking it for granted. I was interested in everything as a child. Basically, I wanted to do everything. So it wasn't easy picking a career path. I wasn't out in the ball field and said, that's what I'm going to do. Like you said, I wanted to do everything. So I figured until I had a better idea of what I wanted to do or of something of value, that I would choose service in whatever form that could be. I figured until I learned a way to give something important or meaningful to the world, I better study it, and I better, and in order to make a paycheck while that was happening and while that exploration was happening, I chose service in a variety of forms. So that led to all sorts of things. I went to college initially to write. I studied communications and English at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. And quickly at that point, I recognized at the end of that degree program where they require you to write a full-length book that I was, 20 years old. I knew nothing about anything, and anything that I was going to write, I would pretty much be embarrassed about and would not have a lot of value to the world. I basically figured out, look, I know nothing. So what can I write about at this point? So I set out to have experiences. I set out to learn about who I was, who the world was, how people work, what destroys them, what builds them up, what heals them, what gives them hope, what annihilates their hope. And so I served in a variety of capacities. Served as a combat medic in Iraq.
Thank you for your service.
It was my honor to serve. Thank you. And so I worked in that capacity. I worked for our state agencies doing emergency management, large scale emergency operations for our
Yeah.
state at the highest level of state government. Worked as a nurse for a few decades in correctional facilities and county jails and
Wow.
medical clinics, in military environments, combat support hospitals, those types of things. Worked in on the
You
protection.
didn't pick the easy. You didn't pick any of the easy service routes, did you?
No, I wanted to get into it. If I figured if I was going to have anything to say of any value, I wanted the realistic experience, and I didn't want to, blow sunshine into people's ears. I wanted to bring them meat and milk to feed them, and so so helping people and people dealing with mental illness. Another aspect of this was working in psychology environments, mental health. Working as a crisis and hostage negotiator to resolve violent situations or potentially violent situations. Working as a crisis intervention worker during the pandemic. So people who are dealing with suicidal ideation and the deep isolation and loneliness that occurred during the pandemic. So during all of those things, then I got to a point where I figured the most valuable thing that I can offer people, that after seeing and experiencing all of these things, the best gift I can offer them is one of resilience, because I saw so many people who were harmed and hurt, so many people who were well-intended who hurt and harmed others, people who were doing their very best, but oftentimes they were not getting the outcomes that they desired, and oftentimes expended themselves and their lives on and all of their energy into things only to feel like it was a waste, or only to not get the outcome that they desired, or then dealing with a lot of identity crises when if they felt that they were going into an honorable career path and it did not bring fulfillment. So helping people build that resilience, and then helping people build that resilience, have an understanding to prevent some of that harm, to prevent suffering, to empower people in their journey to fulfillment. That's where a lot of things kind of around the age of 40 really crystallized for me. And I felt that I finally had a message to share.
And it's fascinating, because I was going to ask you near the beginning of the show, how did you get your credentials to put this health new era in the workspace, as you mentioned? And well, I think that journey answers that. I think that was a very long list of credentials and high level expertise to do this. So what kinds of organizations, business size companies come to you and say, like, what is their pain? What is their pinch? What is their motivation to say, we really need a Ben in our world? We really need some extra support in our workplace. What's going on with the customer, and what kinds of customers come to you looking for this help?
Sure. I've served a variety of different customers, whether it's professional athletes, whether it's executives, whether it's executive directors of nonprofits, whether it's governmental agencies or medical care staffs, mental health agencies, just private businesses. Generally, I work with leadership teams of businesses, so that can be of any size, but largely what I like to do is basically help stem the blood loss that comes right now, where we have the great resignation, and I like applying the language of the tourniquet to stop the bleeding. When you have employees who are fed up, who are frustrated, who are burned out, who are tired of it, who are toxic, who are literally conflict is rife in that organization, and leaders are seeing people go out that door and are constantly coming to work wondering if staff are going to be there. That's where I love to step in, and those hungry leaders who want solutions, who are ready to make changes. That is a beautiful place to be. And especially when there's leadership teams, if there's conflict in those leadership teams, that they can't get on the same page, they're frustrated, they're also having animosity with each other, situations of chaos and mental illness, and people dealing with addiction, people self-medicating with alcohol. I love stepping in and bringing health into those organizations to transform toxicity into a thriving workforce that loves to come to work, that's loyal to each other, that experiences cohesion and trust, and really responds to leaders who care for them as whole people. So who doesn't treat them as a number, who doesn't let information systems getting in the way of humanity, but actually ensures that information systems empower us to be fulfilled in what we do, that those things serve human beings in their fulfillment and in their service. So I love what sometimes executives just need me for that psychological safety of saying, I need to be able to process my stress in a phone call once a day or once a week with somebody who is not a part of my agency. I can process all my frustrations. I can think it through. I can vocalize these things, but I need to do it with an unbiased, objective person who's not a part of my organization, so that I can treasure the relationships of my leadership team, so that when leaders and partners in the organization are problematic or difficult to deal with or stressful to deal with, instead of ruining those relationships with toxic behavior or increasing and escalating conflict, they seek I can help them de-escalate, process, and help them transition from negative behaviors, whether they intend them or not, into cohesion and positivity. And I don't just say that like positivity, like I'm not going to motivational speak you and say, hey, there's butterflies and rainbows here that you need to cling to.
I don't get that energy from you there, Ben.
It's a very real, like, look, this person is very upsetting to me. I'm frustrated, or I'm dealing with a divorce at home. I can't even focus on what's going on at work. My performance is suffering, or my child is having a significant health issue, or I'm caring for my parent with dementia while I'm trying to balance all the needs of this company, or lead this company that's tanking because I'm not emotionally or mentally present in my day-to-day workday. These are just some of the things where I love stepping in. I love being a support. I love empowering others. I love taking that toxicity and transforming it into thriving, happy, healthy, and fulfilled people in their organizations, and then to see the great work that follows.
It almost seems like you're more of a leadership coach, mental health coach, more of the mental piece than you haven't talked much about, making sure that the whole staff is got access to some sort of exercise or healthy food, or is that a piece of it, or are you more in the leadership and coaching and the mental health kind of conversation support for leadership space?
It's a mix of both. So understanding the needs of the employees, understanding where they're at in that process and what they need from the executive section, from the C-suite, whatever that is. So it's hand in hand with frontline staff who do the work, so to ensure that the executive team fully understands what's happening in the trenches on the ground each day, to ensure that the executives, what the actions that they take or the actions that they don't take, resonate with honor to those staff, to understand what the staff are going through, to articulate the stressors of what the staff is going through and how leadership can empower them. So sometimes that's a meditation app to help people practice mindfulness and be present in what they're doing. Sometimes it's stress management techniques to help people do that or conflict resolution between teams who have gotten to a place where it's a convenient blame game, where all the problems that we're experiencing, it's their fault, and then we continue to repress emotions, never find solutions because we're just caught in that blame cycle. Whether it's or it's anything in between there, it's what makes that organization thrive. Everyone has something to learn. Nobody's perfect. I learn during that process too. Every day I learn something new, but I spend a lot of time with people under stress for decades of time, and have learned a few things along the way that really empowers folks and really seems to get them the results that they desire. And so that's extremely rewarding. And so it can be eating healthier. That's part of it. It's also sleep hygiene, if you're familiar with that term. How can we get pit staff to get the sleep that they need, especially if you have a night shift? And all of the challenges that come around dealing with that sleep schedule and the toll it takes on the human body and the psyche, the balance between the mental and the physical. They're intertwined. We can call them separate things. We can call them mental health and physical health, but they're so entwined and enmeshed in one another. It is the entire person's health. So I love going into that, helping people understand it and getting them out of toxic cycles or dysfunctional cycles, resolving conflict. it's a beautiful thing. That's what I love.
And I think a lot of the and after this we'll step into your tip that you want to offer, but I think a lot of the core of having a being the leader of a very large family. We have 7 children and almost 8 grandchildren. I say almost because one's cooking due in September. So I guess technically we have great grandchildren. One just hasn't come out to meet us yet. So I know, whether it's you're talking about, and I'm very blessed because I'm about to have a 20 on the 27th of this month. My husband and I will be celebrating our 24th wedding anniversary and 25 years together and all of these gaggles of children. And one of the things that has kept our relationship strong and our relationship with the children strong is communication. It's the being heard, feeling valued, feeling important, feeling like people are truly listening to and hearing what your needs are and making action steps to address those. I think that's always the foundation of most solutions, especially with dealing with teams and things in a business and workspace. So
100%. 100%. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Listening, people underestimate the power of active listening. People underestimate that. And oftentimes we get wrapped up in a feeling like we need to fix somebody's problem, right? We want to give them a solution. We see them suffering and we want to fix it for them. So then we come up with all these solutions. And generally what we do when we do that is escalate them, because if they could have figured it out, they would have. And if they're in a hospital bed after an attempted suicide, or if they are dealing with years of attempted or years of abuse and trauma. I remember I used to go to a county jail and listen to incarcerated young people who had been trafficked as children, abused and exploited in unspeakable ways, and just go and listen. And just by listening, not necessarily offering any solutions, just allowing them to feel heard, validating their emotions, and just sharing space with them.
Yeah.
Those are life-altering moments. And in crisis intervention, when you're dealing with suicidal people who are navigating waves of troubled emotions, presence is a profound opportunity, and it does untold good. I agree with you.
Yeah, just being nearby can be that gift. But in the workspace specifically, the other piece of communication is also being able to articulate clearly what leadership desires. What is the goal? What is actually most important to them, to make sure that everyone's on the same page with that. And I think that in a nutshell describes the brilliance of the 1-minute manager, that really clear communication of exactly what is the task at hand, what is the most urgent thing to be addressing, and having the person participate in that so that they fully understand and take ownership of the process is so wonderful. So what's a tip you would offer the world watching today?
Yeah, so and just to piggyback on that, if you want to get behavior change from your staff, and the executive staff has an initiative, or they have a goal that they want the staff to buy into, you're not going to get the staff to achieve that goal in a passionate, engaged way. I mean, they may do it for a paycheck. You may throw some money at them, and they may, do it and make some sort of mild attempt to do it because that's what the boss said. But if you want engagement and passion and devotion and adherence to that, it's often the communication from the leadership as to the why behind it and how it benefits either society, how it benefits people, how it benefits the staff who are creating the work to fulfill that objective. And once you're able to communicate the why of why that's important, and once you get people to understand the value of the outcome of that, once they lay hold of that, and then their unique skills and talents are brought into a context where they can be their very best, where it comes naturally to them, where they can experience a sense of flow in their day as they accomplish things in a well-balanced challenge, which isn't overwhelming and it isn't too easy. And they're able to use their gifts and talents and enter that place of flow where time kind of stands still, where they're creating a tremendous outcome. That's when organizations just are electric. And that's something I love what you had commented there of getting that buy-in from the staff, it's important when and so I would say, yeah, one of the tips that I would offer today is to just focus on the little things that we can do. We don't necessarily, like you mentioned, the listening. Oftentimes, little things can create big impacts. And so, no matter what that is, whether it's you're trying to exercise more or you're trying to do something at work to accomplish more buy-in from your staff. I'm a fan of the Kaizen way, where it's a small investment. It may seem absolutely ridiculously small of a start. Literally standing up in front of your television for 1 minute at night because you want to not sit so much or be in a sedentary way so much. Literally start for 1 minute. And then going from there, it just builds basically, people then determine, oh, well, that was not too difficult. We've sidestepped all the fear that goes with too severe of a change process. If it's very simple, we sidestep the fear. Most of the time when we talk about a change, especially in organizations, immediately red flags go up. How is this going to change my normal? How is this going to affect my benefits? I have so much riding on me, and I have this health condition. And if I lose my healthcare benefits, then what is going to happen? And and we spiral in our minds about all the anxiety of the future. We get in our sympathetic nervous system, our cortisol, floods the bloodstream. We start having decreased immune systems, and then we have even more stress because we're sick and we can't go to work. Like, it's just this downward cycle where unless we learn some healthy things and the relief that comes from just these small changes, that person that I can't stand at work, I'm going to say hello to them this morning in a way where I am not saying anything with any animosity. There's no ulterior motive. I am simply going to wish them well as a human being. That's what I'm going to do today to start the process. Those little things quickly become tremendously important, and tremendous outcomes come from those as we take little steps forward and get out from under fear.
I love that. And it's so funny. I'm laughing at myself because I hear things now when people are talking in the way of book references. I can't seem to help it. So I heard both Who Moved My Cheese, The Panic of Change, and I heard both Atomic Habits and the powerful tiny increments of how that can make such a substantial change in your life.
Yep.
And now, before we move into our book segment, though, one of the things that we started from show number 1 is as we bring on these amazing guests that are profound, they are profound not just because they're doing things outside of the box in their industry, and boy, is Ben ever, but they're also supporting their community or the world at large in a bigger way. So share with us the cause that you care about, Ben.
Yeah, it's my honor to share this today. Thank you so much for anybody listening to this. There is an amazing school in Milwaukee, inner city Milwaukee. It's called Central City Cyber School, and it is a tremendous charter school where staff are doing amazing things to empower young people who have tremendous challenges. And they stabilize kids who come in. They provide food. They have therapy available to children who have been abused or exploited in various ways. They work to empower them. They use technology to augment their educational processes. They connect them with employment, and they are basically a loving, safe place where children have a majority of the teachers look like them. They can feel a sense of belonging. They can be who they are. They don't have to hide or act a certain way. They can be who they are and be valued for who they are. It's Central City Cyber School. They are doing tremendous work on behalf of some tremendous children. And anybody who donates to them today as a result of being on your show, Jessica, and hearing about this, anyone who dedicates any form, whether they donate $1 to $1 million, I will give you, it's the least I can do is a free copy of my Navigating Information Overload book that help your employees have wellness at work with not getting overwhelmed by all the information that we're deluged with and that often buries our heart and overwhelms our mind. So that anybody who mentions your show, they will get a free copy of that digital book.
I love that. And just think how powerful this is. So, someone watching right now, so now is the time you're watching, press that share button and pushes it out there. And someone hears this, and they then suddenly can become inspired to give time, treasure, or talent to this cause that Ben shared about, or to look for a cause in their community that's similar and begin to donate time, treasure, or talent to them, or just go, oh, yeah, I haven't given to my own cause that makes my heart sing in a while, or they just might decide to do something kind. Either way, how powerful is it that just spreading awareness about causes that are close and near and dear to our heart, all of the different possibilities of what good can come from that. I love that. I have spoke nationally for more than 25 years across the country, and internationally for about 4 now, including keynotes and all kinds of really amazing opportunities I've had in the speaking space and circuit over the course of my career. And one was this always a funny story to me. There was a university in Kalamazoo, and I kid you not, I flew on a very small, which I believe was a toy plane. I'm pretty sure it was not real. I had to walk to get to Kalamazoo where I was going. I took a real airplane, the normal thing you get on, you board the way normal people do. And then they took me to this itty airport, and they had me literally walk out onto the runway, and they pulled down a rickety ladder, and I climbed up, and the chairs folded down I wasn't sure that this was really a qualified plane. So I was not just crossing my fingers, but saying all kinds of prayers. But I did make it, and I got to speak at this university and this great community. And I came to learn after the event that this particular community in Kalamazoo had worked a plan together with all of the households and all the businesses and all of the community, had decided that every child that went to public school in this community would have a free ride through college.
Nice.
And they, as a community, made a way. I don't know what the plan is. I'm thinking if one community can do it, every community in the country. And I just, your inspiring, amazing school that you have going on in your community just made me remember how inspired I was by this idea, and wanting them to map out the formula so it could be easily duplicated across our beautiful country. But that's what you have to do. You have to come together in these masterminds and think about that. So if you have a cause that is close to your heart, please put it in the comments. Please remember to share and keep watching. We're not done yet. We've got some more exciting things to hear from Ben. So causes light me up, as you can tell, but I glow in a whole new way when it comes to books. I am crazy about books, audiobooks, paper books. I know I'm planting trees. Don't worry. My husband's really got a green thumb, and he's making up for it for me. But I love every form of a book. I just find so much joy in learning something new. And so I ask all our guests, and by the end of this year, we'll have reached 1,000 industry experts from all over the globe, as I mentioned, and we're going to create the ultimate book list of all of these brilliant guests and the books they've recommended, and even books they've written. So let's start with a book not written by you that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business. Ben, what book do you have for us?
Yeah, The Kaizen Way is a book that I find to be extremely valuable. I love mindfulness concepts. I love, so much of our mental health field today comes from the Asian traditions that are in our world, and from dialectical behavior therapy to any number of interventions where people are dealing with severe or challenging mental illness, created, Zen masters being involved in that, a different take on how we perceive our reality, being aware of the present moment, sidestepping fear, and being present. Those types of concepts really breed healthy perspectives. It empowers us in what we do. It helps reduce overwhelm. It helps reduce a feeling of helplessness. It helps us navigate troubling emotions, and it helps create change without fear. So that's one book or a concept that multiple books have been written on that I have found tremendous value in.
Now repeat the name of the book you recommend, because I want to make sure everyone got it.
Yep, The Kaizen Way. It's a great book.
Okay. Very good. Now, if you're watching, put your favorite book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business in the chat. And next up, Ben is an author, as we've kind of got a sneak peek about earlier. So tell us about what led you to write the book and what the key components in your book.
Sure. And that was just, there's a book right now I'm focused on reducing overwhelm in the workplace and from information overload. We're in the information age. And we are oftentimes just deluged with information to the point where it basically puts us at a standstill because we can't process it all. So anyway, that's one book. And anybody listening today, if you go to benbiddick.com and you subscribe there, I'll send you a digital copy of it in honor of Jessica offering her platform here and being present here. It's, as I said, it's an honor to be here, Jessica. And I want to, any guests that see this, I want to give you something of value to in honor of you taking the time to learn about me and Jessica's show. And all the great guests that she has had, almost 1,000. It sounds like that's exciting.
Yeah, I know. I'm super excited about that.
And one of the bigger books that I wrote is called "Get Up: The Art of Perseverance" with former Major League Baseball player Adam Greenberg. He ascended the heights of the minor leagues, played at University of Chapel Hill in North Carolina in baseball under the legendary Coach Fox. Wound up making it to the major leagues in a Chicago Cubs uniform. Dusty Baker decided to put him in for his first at bat to pinch hit. He went in, stepped into the batter's box, and the first pitch he saw on his first major league plate appearance struck him on the back of the head, just below the helmet, so directly on the head, which altered the delicate bones inside the ear, which manages our balance, and the vision, the way that his vision was affected by obviously a 92-mile-an-hour fastball struck him in the back of the head. And he has a tremendously inspiring journey, one of the most unique stories in Major League Baseball, where he came back to the major leagues for an official at-bat. I won't tell you all the details of that, but talk about perseverance and talk about getting up after adversity. He thought in that moment when he was struck with that ball that he was dying. He felt like he was holding his head together after that brain injury that occurred. And this is before Major League Baseball had concussion protocols. So he never even went to the hospital at that point, and later on discovered the severity of the damage, but wound up getting back into the major leagues and has a tremendous story. It was an honor to share with the world and to work with Adam and some baseball legends to share that story. So I would, if anyone is interested, is a baseball lover, or is just someone who wants a inspiring story about people getting up after being knocked down in life, Get Up: The Art of Perseverance with Ben Biddick and Adam Greenberg is the book that I would recommend you check.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that one out because my husband is a huge Cal Ripken fan. Matter of fact, for one of our wedding anniversaries, I took him to a university where he was lecturing, and he got to meet him in person. And that was a surprise I had for him. So I think I will pick up the book. His birthday is in May.
Perfect.
And Father's Day is in June. So one way or another, I have a great gift. So all of you out there watching, that might be a great Father's Day gift. So that was wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. So if you're watching and you're thinking, wait, I am an industry expert and I could help improve someone's personal life, or I could grow someone's business, and you'd like to be featured on the show, well, we would love to have you. Reach out to us and our team will show you all the details you need and steps you need to take in order to be featured on the show. Now, if you are an industry expert, I would say, they say that I didn't start the saying. I don't know who started the saying. It takes one to know one. So if you are an industry expert, I bet you know another one. Some other industry experts out there. So be their hero and ours and send them our way so we could feature them as well. And then you both win, right? All about how can we collaborate? How can we lift one another? How can we offer reciprocity in this world so that we all succeed and really thrive in our life's mission and passion that's set before us. So don't worry, I won't let Ben get away. We are wrapping up the show, but we want a final piece of information or inspiration as we move on in our day today. Ben, what do you have for us?
Well, I would just encourage you that if you are going through a difficult time, or you're in the midst of it, or if you're in the hospital bed in that dark night of the soul because you just had an injury, or because you just lost your job and you don't know what you're going to tell your family, or you've just had something happening which has rocked you, or something has happened in your organization, or you just don't know how you're going to fill the gap of someone who has left with a ton of it institutional knowledge. If you're at a standstill where you don't know what will come of tomorrow, I want you to just take a deep breath, orient yourself to the present moment, and recognize that oftentimes it's the very thing that challenges us, that rocks us, that throws us off of our feet, that causes us to think of life in an entirely different way. That often becomes a very powerful lesson that is the gateway into you doing things you'd never dreamed of before. So don't give up. Process your emotions. Don't run from them. Don't hide from them. Get to the point where you can accept them, even if it's painful to do, especially if it's painful to do. And you might find yourself quicker on the other side, and even more empowered, excited, or engaged about life before you were, before whatever adversity has occurred to you.
And don't try to do it alone. There is a family member, a friend, an 800 number,
Yep.
religious organization, Ben's website, and reach out and get scheduled on his calendar. There is call me. My cell phone number is plastered on my LinkedIn. I am not an expert, but none of us. The whole point, I believe, is want anyone to have to try to do it alone. So if I can't help you and I'm not an expert in it, or Ben can't help, we're going to send you in the direction of someone who can. And I will throw out our disclaimer, as we've talked about mental health and health a lot today, that I am the Italian mother of 7, but I'm not your mama. We're not giving you medical, legal, financial, or any other kind of advice. If you need something, if you are feeling overwhelmed and really need support and help, seek help from a medical professional. Someone is near you. Someone can help you. And Ben, it's just been fantastic having you on the show. I hope you've enjoyed being here as much as I've enjoyed having you.
It's been an honor and a pleasure. And Jessica, thank you so much again. I'm so grateful for this moment to speak my truth and what I'm passionate about to your amazing audience.
That's right. And we are going to work hard to push it out even further to the world. Thank all of you who are watching and who are helping participate in that and sharing. As always, I am your host, Jessica Koch. This has been another Profound Professionals. And I'm going to say, choose joy in all the things you're trying to do, whether for your health or your personal life or your business. Choose joy first, and then decide what your next action is going to be. What is your goal for this? Choose, decide, commit. So be all in, make a way, determine, commit, take action, and have some accountability in your life, because that is what ties the bow all together to get you to the finish line. All right, everyone. It's been a great show. I'm, again, your host, Jessica Koch, and this has been Ben. Loving featuring you, Ben, today. And be kind to yourself out there, everybody, and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.